Tensions are on the rise at the Ontario legislature in Toronto. Despite being denied a permit, large numbers of Quds protesters are marching on Queen's Park. A smaller counter-protest is also developing as the police presence there attempts to keep the two sides apart. Beatrice Vaisman is on the scene and sort of caught in the middle. She joins us live now. Beatrice, what's going on at the legislature?
Yeah, okay, here we go.
Hey, B, what's going on there?
Hey there, Brian. Yeah, the Quds rally is now totally in full swing. And just bear with me, it might get a little bit loud here.
Not a problem.
I tried to find a quiet spot just across the street here. But the protest now is taking place on the north side of the Ontario legislature. As you know, their permit was denied to happen on the actual grounds of the legislature. But it doesn't seem to have slowed down the protest at all here. There are hundreds and hundreds of people here. Many of them, most of them, I should say, on the Quds side. There's also about 50 people here from the Jewish Defense League in the pro-Israel side. There's also the police presence here. It's absolutely massive. There are dozens of police officers here, as well as members of the public safety units. I did speak with them. They tell me that so far it's been relatively peaceful. They don't anticipate much violence happening here, but they are here as a precaution just to make sure. And as I said, speeches are fully underway. I've made my way between both camps here, between the kind of makeshift speakers' podiums they've put in place. I've listened to the dialogue from both parties. On one hand, you have Quds demonstrators who are continuously here quoting the Iranian Ayatollah Khomeini, saying Jerusalem is theirs and it's just under temporary occupation by the Jewish people. They say that they are freedom fighters. In fact, some speakers have even gone so far as to call members of the Jewish Defense League terrorists here. And I want to play you a clip of perhaps the youngest speaker on the Quds side. And what he has to say here, Brian, it might shock you. Listen to this.
Can never become falsehood regardless of time. And falsehood can never become truth regardless of time.
Yes!
Having said that, Israel is a source of falsehood, tyranny, corruption, an illegal entity which has no constitution of legislation whatsoever, and it never will. Israel is falsehood. They are tyranny. They are corruption. They're cancerous, and they're terrorizing all the Palestinians who don't have any weapons. They don't have any food. They don't have any shelter. Yet they call them the terrorists. Yet they say that Israel is threatened.
So you heard it right there, Brian. The speaker calling the state of Israel a cancer. Again, calling the folks of the Jewish Defense League terrorists and thugs. Messaging is fairly different over on the other side. On the pro-Israel side, folks are rallying together, saying that they are here promoting freedom of speech and freedom of the Jewish state and freedom of the Jewish people. Of course, their messaging is against a Palestinian state, as these Quds protesters are calling for. Also, I did speak with one pro-Israel protester named Tristan, who he says he's not Jewish and doesn't have any affiliation to the Jewish state, but he says he is tired of the apathy that Canadians are showing, that Canadians are not coming out here in support of these pro-Israeli protesters, or pro-Israeli speakers, I should say, and that he just wants Canadians to take a larger stance here against these folks who he says are promoting terrorism, Brian.
Well, Beatrice, as disturbing as that young child's rhetoric was, the anti-Israeli bent that he was on, what's more disturbing is looking behind you and the fact that these people who were not given a permit to protest on the Queen's Park property have gathered there and seemingly nothing's being done. Has anybody in authority there done anything to move these people away from Queen's Park?
No, they certainly haven't. In fact, police officers are strictly staying in their positions. They kind of created a wall between the two sides here. Police officers standing in a pathway separating the Quds protesters and the Jewish protesters, the counter-protesters. We've actually heard from one speaker just a couple of seconds ago, actually, who says he is Jewish. He took the podium on the Quds side, criticizing the government of Ontario for refusing for not granting a permit for these Quds protesters, Brian. So a lot of messaging here, some interesting rhetoric, and we'll be interested to see what happens here. Hopefully it does continue to stay peaceful. We're told these Quds protesters will be marching towards the U.S. consulate in just a short period of time. It's only a couple blocks away, and I'll be here to gather the moment and bring the details to our viewers.
All right, Beatrice, we'll get back to you in just a little bit with more from Queen's Park. That's Beatrice Vaisman reporting from Queen's Park, where the Al-Quds Day rally, which was not supposed to be on the property of the legislature, is going ahead fairly unabated.